One affirmative defense to the tort of false imprisonment is the shopkeeper's justification. Under the shopkeeper's justification, a merchant who reasonably suspects that the plaintiff has stolen or is attempting to steal merchandise is permitted to detain the plaintiff. However, the detention must be for a reasonable time, and it must be for the purpose of conducting a reasonable investigation. In Teel v. May department stores, the Missouri Supreme Court considered what length of detention is reasonable under the shopkeeper's justification. Mabel Teel lived in St. Louis with her sister-in-law, Leona, who was dating a married man named Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster had an account with May department stores and told Leona that she could charge purchases to his account using the name Mrs. Foster. However, Mr. Foster didn't tell the store that Leona was authorized to charge his account. Mabel went to one of May's stores with Leona, where Leona purchased a large amount of bedding and charged it to Foster's account under Mrs. Foster's name. Mabel and Leona had to make several trips to carry all of Leona's purchases to their car. Upon returning from the car to retrieve more of their purchases, the two women were intercepted by the store's detective, who asked them to accompany him upstairs to the credit department. The store's credit manager had called the real Mrs. Foster and confirmed that Leona wasn't authorized to use the Foster's account. Leona was questioned by the credit manager and eventually admitted that she wasn't Mrs. Foster. Mabel and Leona then returned the bedding, but the store detective refused to let the women leave until each of them signed a confession. Mabel sued the store for false arrest and imprisonment. The trial court instructed the jury that the store was liable for false imprisonment if its employees had detained the women to a greater extent than was reasonably necessary to recover the bedding. The jury found the store liable and awarded Mabel $1,000 in damages. The store appealed to the Missouri Supreme Court.